We live dangerously, baby. I'm actually on? Oh my God. Woo! You gotta give me the wave. Okay, whatever. Hey everybody, it's Friday. It must be noon because we're live. Thank you for joining us. This is Festool Live, episode number 208. Over here, we have Christine. Give us the point. There you go. Behind the camera, we have Chris, the unit cyber. On the line, we have Brent. He's answering all your questions. And behind the board, we have Minnie Gleb. Hi, Min.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good, you?
Okay, so tell us where you're from. And also in the comments, because what weekend is this, gang?
Super Bowl!
Super Bowl weekend! Big deal. Okay, so tell us who you want. The Chiefs or the Eagles? I mean Eagles. That's how my buddy used to say it from Philly, the Eagles. Okay, so Minnie, you gonna write down that stuff?
I will keep track.
Okay, Eagles, Birds, Chiefs, Taylor. Oh, come on, Minnie. Jeez, criminy, you got me to say that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so what are we doing today? Well, let's start correctly. Let's stop over here. Come on. Remember, it's our 100-year anniversary, everybody. And we are excited because we have a lot planned next week here at Festool. We've been working diligently, the entire company, and we're really excited. So one of my jobs over the past month was to clean up some of these old tools. Now, this is a planer, right? Look, there's a handle here. Come here. Okay? And you can hold it here. And it's basically a 10-inch. Okay? Now, I would not want to be that person to lift this. Minnie, I'm going to tell you. Oh, wait a minute. See how you can use it like that? See the little feet here?
Oh, cool.
Don't forget to get your swag on the Festool Fan Shop. Minnie, I want you to come over here.
I'm here.
Okay? Try to pick this up. Okay?
I want to know why people say...
Christine could not pick it up.
Oh, Jimmy, no.
Huh?
Yeah. We do too make a planer or did.
We still do. And this is, Minnie, this is going to go full circle to the end of Festool Live today.
Oh,
there's a method to my madness. So I was cleaning this up and I went, what are these? And then I thought about it, and I'm going to take this. I'm not going to break it, I promise. But you can actually, those are feet, Minnie. And you can actually use it like that. Now check this out, check this out. To adjust the bed, you loosen it here, and see, you can adjust the bed on it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, Minnie, you picked that up? We're all going to guess like last week.
No.
Okay, so, how much do you think it weighs?
82.
Ooh, Christine?
85.
Wow. Unit?
70.
Wow. So yesterday I weighed it, and I had Justin, Texas Walker Ranger in here, Walker, Texas Ranger, right? Mm-hmm. He picked it up, he goes, huh. I go, how much do you think that weighs? He goes, 63 pounds. He guessed it on the nose. Oh. Is he unbelievable?
Wow. He really is.
He's unbelievable. Okay, cool. Okay, he's also our application specialist. In case you don't know, he's not a Texas Ranger. Okay, so today's theme, by the way, I have so many more old tools scattered out throughout Festool Live, so you'll see some of the really neat things. A lot more portable. Okay, so in training class, when I was doing the trainings, somebody would say, hey, why do you have this on your pouch? Right here. See that? There's a magnet there, and I always had one of these. Because I called it my common thread. And you're going to see the common thread. It's 5 millimeter. Now you'll understand the thumbnail when it posts later, okay, why we did this. So to understand the Festool system, you only really need to remember a couple of numbers. The one I want to throw at you, and I'm going to dispel a lot of myths out there, is 5 millimeter. Okay, so I'm going to start with some sanders, and there's a few things about our sanders you may or may not know. Okay, so we have These are the newer ones. These are the SEC 150s. And you'll always see at the end of each one a /3 and a /5. There's the 5. These are the older versions. These are great. I mean, this is the one I have at home. Okay, and you'll see there's a 5 on top and a 3 on top. Did you get those 3s and 5s, Chris? Right there? Okay, now somebody will ask, what's the difference? And I'll say, what? Minnie, what's the difference between 3 and 5?
2.
See? That's what I always say. No. 5 and 3 are the orbits, okay? The 3, watch, I'll show you. Give me a second. And I've done this in a Festool Live before, but to check the orbit of this, if I take this, I just use this sander here, okay? And I make a dot right here, just like that, okay? And if I turn it on, hold the pad, don't do this at home, okay? But I just want to show you. I'm holding the pad. You're going to see how it makes a circle. Can you see that, Christine? Okay. Now, if I took my folding ruler while it was running and put it across there, the diameter of that circle that's created is a 5 millimeter in diameter. So if I do that to the 3, you'll see it right here. Let me put the plug-it cord on just like this, and I'll make another dot. Minnie, did you ever see this? Come on in and check it out. See that little dot right there? Okay, watch. I do that. See that? See how it makes a circle?
Yeah,
Pretty cool, huh?
it really is.
So that, if I took my folding ruler, it would be in diameter a 3 millimeter. So what does that mean? The grit, just pretend there's a grit on the outside circumference of that, right? It takes it a 3 millimeter loop, okay? Where the 5 is more what? Accentuated. So what that means is the 5 is more aggressive than the 3. So if you're finishing finishes, or if you get paid by the hour and you want to go slower, okay, get the 3. Okay, never mind. Tough room today, everybody. Tough room. Tough room. Okay, so this question comes up a lot. I have an ETS 150/3. Should I get the 5? Because I was also thinking about the Rotex. If you think about the Rotex 150, in the random orbit mode, that's a 5 millimeter. So I always suggest, hey, if you get a 3, get the Rotex, okay? Because now you have a few machines in one. All right, but there's something else that's 5 millimeter. On the ETS sanders, right here, okay, to change a pad, that's a 5 millimeter screw. So you just take it and you spin it off, okay? Now, on the older versions of these, okay, the 5 millimeter hex is stored right on board to remove the pad, okay? So that's the power of 5 right there when it comes to some of the sanders. Always have a 5 millimeter hex with you. Okay, next, let's go over to the multifunction table. Follow me, unit, over here. Okay, there's a lot of things to remember about the multifunction table, okay? And I've gone through this before in, I think it was like episode 2 or 3 or 4, wasn't it, Chris?
That sounds right.
Yeah, you were still here. You started this whole thing, didn't you? Oh, goodness gracious. Minnie, you were here then too, weren't you?
Almost.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you started what? Episode what? 3 or 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Christine, you're new. But hey, she's good. Okay, so this is what I want to show you. I have seen so many people tell me how to square this. Okay, they use dogs and everything like that. There's a wear value in these holes, these 20 millimeter holes. I always square it up. Okay, you don't have to if you use what? The stops right here. All right, but watch, I'll show you. I have it set up, right? I need to make sure that this aluminum extrusion, which is extruded perfectly parallel, and this one is extruded perfectly parallel. I need to make sure that this is at a perfect 90. So this is how you square it. You get a good square. Make sure your square is square. Okay? I bring it right in like this, okay? And you'll see there's a little bit of play in there. So what I'm gonna do is take my 5 millimeter hex. I gotta make sure everything's tight before I do it, okay? I'm gonna loosen this rail clamp down here, and you're going to notice there's 2 of these screws right here. Guess what size they are, Minnie?
5 millimeter.
Boy, she's really good at that metric stuff, isn't she? Okay, now watch. I'm going to take this. Let me bring this down ever so slightly. I'm going to bring this in, and then you'll see, because there's a little bit of play in here, I can bring that right in just like that. And I always, because my eyes have getting better and better as I get a little bit older, and the emphasis on a little bit, I use these as feeler gauges, and then what I do is I readjust that, and I tighten up these 2 screws. What size are they?
5 millimeter.
There you go, 5 millimeter. So that's how you square it up. Now, I'm gonna keep going here, because I don't know about you, but I'm having fun. Okay, so before I start talking about the rail, I want to talk about the track saws, okay? And this is something that drives me crazy sometimes, because they say, oh, it's TS 55, and they say the 55 is the length of track that comes with it, 55 inches. That's not why there's a 55 on there. Okay, and if you know your TS, I'm going to go with the 55 on this. If you know your TS 55, you know what? The depth of cut is roughly 2 inches. It's actually 1 inch and 15/16. Okay, so if you think about this, as a kid, I was taught 25 millimeters is 1 inch, right? Okay, but you got to remember, the thickness of the guide rail is 5 millimeters. So here's the myth. Someone will go, no, it's not. I measured it with my digital caliper here, and it's 4. But if you look at the PFT strips right here, it bumps it up. Now, I could show you really easily how that comes to play right here. Okay, and always remember, the rail, when you put something on it, is 5 millimeters. Okay, so I'm going to take that off. How'd that get there? Okay, so this is a 5 millimeter domino, right? I'm going to take it, it's still on that PFT strip, and if you bring it down here, you'll see that's 5 millimeters. So that's where you take that number, subtract 5, and that's your depth of cut. Gotcha. Okay, 75, same thing. Off of the guide rail, you do get a 75 millimeter depth of cut, roughly 3 inches, but you got to subtract the 5 if you're using it on the rail, and that'll give you about a 2 3/4 depth of cut, or 70 millimeters. Hopefully that made sense. Does that make sense, Minnie?
Yes.
Goodness gracious. One of these days I might do this for a living. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay. Now, that's the first thing. The other one I want to point out is everybody gets all discombobulated with depth, right? And they say, what's the difference between this and this? Well, the distance from here to here is 5 millimeters. Because when I set this and say I'm doing 3/4, see where it says FS? FS, it means it's incorporating the thickness of the rail. So if I set it at 3/4, that's my real depth of cut. Off of the, okay? So that's a 5 millimeter offset. That's the true depth of cut off of the rail. So hopefully that made sense. I set the thickness of the material to the top part where it says FS, because it incorporates the thickness of rail, 5 millimeter. Hopefully that made sense. Okay, 3 more. Well, another thing on here is looky right here. See that? What size do you think that is?
A millimeter.
Okay, see the common thread happening? I'm going to take that out. It's a 5 millimeter hex, and that means I'm going to change a blade. So I'm going to take off the outside splinter guide. Okay, whoop, whoop. Bring it over here, and when I put it in fast fix, it should be less than 25, and if you hear that, 3 things happen. First, it locks down in position so I can access the 5 millimeter nut, okay, or screw, and then it locks the arbor shaft. And 3, we know you're going to take off the power cord, the plug-in cord, but it actually locks out the power, the trigger. And it's just real simple. You just take your 5 millimeter hex and spin it right off. Whoopsie. Hang on, what happens? Oh, my belly hit the fast fix. Don't do that again, Chris. Okay. God, you're sabotaging me today. Hey, did you adjust things in here while I was at break? Okay, and you just take it out and you change the blade just like that. And that's 5 millimeter and 5 millimeter. So you take that, remove it, put it back in, clean it first, or switch it to like a melamine blade or non-ferrous metal blade. That's the blue blade. And you just spin it back in. And look how easy that is. and that hex stores right on board. I use the long hex that I always have because I get more leverage with it. This is the one that comes with the ETS EC sanders, okay? But this hex is right here, okay? Now, I was somewhere last year. Tell me that's a cool mini. Look at that.
Oh, neat.
Look at the size of that 5mm, huh? Boy, that gives you some good torque on there, but be careful if you have one of those. Okay, so there you go. There's some 5mm on here, and just always remember, and the reason I wanted to do this whole thing was to let you know the thickness of the rail is 5mm. Okay? Good. Hey guys, want to see a really cool router? Check this one out. Look at this. I don't even know how old this is. You see that? Look, I was messing with this the other day, and all of a sudden I go, I bet you that's micro adjust. Guess what it is? It's micro adjust. Look at that. Even way back when we had micro adjust, that was effortless. And if you need to change, if I need to change the bit, I just spin this off, the wing nut, just like this. I'm sorry. I'm just enamored with these old tools because they're so cool. And I could take that right off, okay, and I could change the collet. The collets are a little bit better now. This one's a little seized. And that's not fast fix on there. That's not a quick changer. So there you go. Okay, you want to talk about saws real quick? Here's some old Festool saws that we have. Look at this one. This is a one-hander, okay? Check out that. Look at that little blade. But what we always have, we always had a riving knife or a splitter on these, okay? And this one here is a cool one too. So there you go. Look at the size of that splitter. Cool. So I thought I'd bring those out to show you. And I didn't weigh this one, but check out this original one of these sanders. It's an old floor sander. I was really impressed. Do we have a plug in the house? Look at the size of that.
That's amazing.
So, just so you know, we've been making these tools for a long, long time. Okay, over here, unit, please. I gotta say please, don't I? Okay, nowadays. All right. Does anybody know what size bit comes with the domino? What cutter size? Good, Christine. Good, good, good. See the common thread? 5mm. Okay, but what I wanted to show today is a common question I get all the time. Okay, people ask all the time, or they want a suggestion, what size or what thickness domino do I need for what I'm building? Well, I always will default on what's the thickness of your material. Okay, and rule of thumb, I've done this before, is a third, third, and a third. Where if you take the, okay, Minnie, I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions. You're my Mrs. Metric here. What's 18 divided by 3? No help in the room.
By 3?
Yeah.
9? No, that's 2.
That's 2. Christine? That's right, 6.
Thank you.
So that's a third and a third. So hear me out on this. So somebody will say, hey, I'm building cases, and I go, oh, you're probably using 18mm plywood, right? They go, what domino would you use? And I would always suggest use a 5x30. Okay, now if I'm using hardwood that's 18mm, depending on my application, not doing a butt joint, okay, maybe putting together, I would probably use a 6x40 because that's rule of thumb. But for case goods, 18mm, I always use a 5x30, and I'll show you why. The plunge depth is set right here. So Minnie, I'm gonna have you do this. What's half of 30?
15.
Now you're talking, you're back in graces. Good, you see that, 15? Okay, because this is a 5x30. So if I plunge here, that goes in 15 and 15, okay? And when I put it together here, because I did this like that, I get a perfectly flush joint. If I was using a 6x40, I couldn't do that, right? Because what would happen if I set it at 20, watch, if I set it at 20, guess what would happen? It would what? 20 and 20, I'd get a through tenon joint. Okay, but what I can do, hear me out on this, everybody, I could set it at 12, okay, for this piece, and 28 for this piece. Because 12 and 28 equals 40.
There you go. I'm so late today.
Hey,
It's Friday.
I need some of them fancy calculators in here for my crew. You guys are already at the Super Bowl party. What's going on here? Hey, Minnie, what's it looking like? More Chiefs or more Eagles?
Eagles. Yay.
Both the same?
She's counting.
Eagles? Really? What's the count so far?
I've only got 7 people, but one person said Team Festool, so I don't know.
I like that answer.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
answer.
So,
Who do you think's gonna win?
yes, you could use a 6x40 in here and offset them, but guess what? I can't tell you how many times when I first started that I was using a 6x40 in here and how many times I forgot to switch it back as I was building. This is a no-brainer. You just set it at 15 and you can go back and forth in that joint. You never have to worry about switching it back and forth. So hopefully that made sense. All right. 5mm, 5x30 is, I'm a cabinet guy. I build a lot of cabinets. This is the one I use the majority of the time. Okay, hopefully that looked good. Minnie, how am I doing so far? Pretty good?
Spectacular.
I'm doing okay?
Yep.
Okay, like I said, I might do this for a living someday. Okay, now, here's a fun one. I'm gonna change the cut ahead, not the blade, the cut ahead. Because with the HLA 50, to change, see that right there? Stored on board. That helps me change what? The little jib screws right here. Okay, that's what that's for. But to remove the cut ahead completely, let me see this. See, this is where the cut ahead lives. Dirk, baby, that's for you, Dirk. Okay, watch. Dirk from Dayton. Okay, right here is a 5mm hex wrench, okay, or hex key. I take that out. It's pretty simple. Yes, it's 5mm. I flip this up. I hold it, and right here is the abalog. See it? So if I press that, that's a 5mm hex. See the common thread? Just, you know, make sure you get a 5mm. That's when you're working with Festool, and that'll help you take it off. Now, here's the other tip I want to give you on this. Okay, I'm going to take this little screw out. Okay, and when you look here, there's a washer, right? But see this washer? There's a secondary washer in there that captures the flat spots on the arbor shaft. But what happens is a lot of people just take that off and they go away and this falls on the ground. They don't realize, or they take it, set it aside, and they lose this. So when they put it back on, they just put this and this. And what happens is this cutter head, because it's milled out of a single aluminum billet, seizes up. It is such a precise planer. Okay, so I'm going to take that, put it back on, and when you put it back on, you just take that. Come in here, Chris, so we can see all of this for these folks. I put it in, and that's your captured washer there. Then you put on your second washer on top, and then you tighten it up. It's that simple. Okay, so 5mm common thread. Now, because I set so much up today, I could go, and I was thinking about this all week. I could show this, I could show this, I could show this. This here is a common thread. That 5mm hex, okay, the thickness of the rail is 5, the cutter is a 5, that tenon we use a lot is 5. I wanted to make sure I simplified it because there's so many places that this goes. Oh, here's another one. You know when you, I just thought of this, when you flip the top over, come in here, Chris. On the bottom, guess what? The MFT top is held on with 5mm screws. I'm looking around the room and I can see 4 or 5 other things that take a 5mm common thread. So in saying that, I wanted to make sure I could simplify this for you and you could see, to make sure you have one of these readily available. And the question we get all the time is the true thickness of the track saws. Okay, so there you go. So, Minnie,
Yo,
you're still writing?
I am.
Okay, I think we're good to go, huh? We'll call off some names. Wow. Wow, look at all of this. Those are all watch parties. Huh?
Yes.
Woo! I'm going to call out some cool watch parties. They're at the Woodcrafts. We have them in Springfield, Virginia. Mark, you've always been there with us, right?
Yep.
Okay, Bill and the Dayton crew. That's Dayton, Ohio. Ed and team at the Norfolk, Virginia. By the way, I have been to I don't think I've been to the Springfield, Virginia one. I know a lot of people from there, but I've never been there. But I've been to the Dayton and the Norfolk, Virginia one. I have Rob from South Devon, England. I have Joe from Waseca, Illinois. Andrew from Maumee, Ohio. Maumee. Hi, Maumee. Maumee, is that how you say it? Maumee?
Works for me.
Or, yeah, Maumee, Ohio. We have Zionsville, Doug. Doug, how are you? We have the other Warren at Caldwell, Idaho. Big Island Ed. Chris from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Mike Martinez. Mike, how you doing? In Austin, Texas. Stevie Z from Sweden. Greg from Spring, Texas. Dragan from Serbia. Frank from Downers Grove, Illinois. Noise. We have Dirk from Dayton. Woo! How are you, Dirk? We have Manolito from Belgium. We have Leo from Holland. Rick from sunny Blackpool, England. Christopher from Malta. Man, these day one. There's a lot of people on here that have been with us day one. Thank you. We have Bermuda Steve. We have Jason from Fenton, Michigan. Jacob from Rhode Island. Des from Harrogate, England. Paul, Sam, and Cheryl from Anthem, Arizona. Warren from Batavia, Ohio. Ernesto and Panda from Fort Myers, Florida. Not the red panda, but just Panda. Yeah. All right, cool. We have Dale. Unit, you're making me laugh. We have Dale from Hillsdale, Michigan. Johnny O from Atco, New Jersey. Kurt from Rochester, Michigan. Klaus from Denmark. Jason and Yana from Granite Falls, Washington. Hawaii. Rob from Cinnamon, New Jersey. Soren from Denmark. Bahama Brian. Woo! All right. How you doing, Bri? We have, boy, every time I say your name, it brings back so many memories. Tariq from Gaza, Palestine. Cool. We have Richard from Guelph, Ontario, Canada. From Guelph. Guelph.
That's how to pronounce it. That's not the actual spelling. That's the phonic.
That's phonetic?
Thank you.
Hyphonic?
Somebody send me back to bed.
Man, we got to get that pronunciation key and a calculator for Minnie. All right, we're doing good. Minnie, I'm one to talk, right? We have Blake Weber from Novato, California. Michael from Edmonton, Alberta. Donald from Grand Rapids, Michigan. We have Walker, Texas Ranger. We have Stefan from Augsburg, Germany. We have Yuzi from Paramaribo, Suriname. We have Willie from Texas. We have Spactrician. Peter Halley, buddy, how are you? Good to see you. From Virginia, we have Keith Bozeman, Montana. Matt Litke from Tinley Park, Illinois. We have Carrie from Texas. Willie from Freeville. Gerald from Derrida, LA. Apo from Akka, Finland. Marvin Martin. How you doing, Marvin? Miss you, buddy. From Holland, Michigan. Joe and Henry, the Boston Terrier from Akron, Ohio. And that's my main man, Joe. We have James from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Lode from Stockholm. Jeff from Irvine, Kentucky. Edric from Citrus Heights, California. Gary Goo? Gary Goo?
Okay.
Okay, it's G-U-U, huh?
BTSB.
Huh?
Boys with the...
Oh, it's Gary. How are you, Gov? She spelled Gov, G-U-V. That's how you spell Gov? It's the governor. We have Brent. What?
Just a lot of windows.
It's what?
The windows are just bright.
Oh, okay. Hang on a second. Minnie, I got to turn this because it's bouncing off my forehead here. We have Brent, the big forehead. We have Brent from Louisville, Kentucky. Mr. Hugster from Chichester, how are you? We have Dylan and Rebecca from Cardston, Alberta. I'm not bad, huh? I might do this for a living someday, man. We have Tom from Morehead City. Julian from Zurich, Switzerland. You know, Unit, we've been working together over 5 years, and you still laugh at my stupid jokes. I love you, brother. All right, we have Paul, Reading, Berkshire, UK. John from Westphalia, Vermont, the Maestro. I love that. Remember the Seinfeld? Right? Maestro from Ontario, Canada. Matt. Yes, Conquistador. We have Matt. Yes, Mr. Conquistador. We have Matt from Newark, Ohio. Adam from Poland. Marcin from Ankelwitz, Netherlands. Mark from Krimpen an der Lek. Dave from Portland, Oregon. Lauren from Rhode Island. How you doing, Lauren? Arthur from New Braunfels, Texas. Mayhole. How are you, Mayhole? Let's see. We have Gail from Eden, New York. Stop laughing. Unit. Ronald from Las Vegas, Nevada. Who you betting on, Ronald? Lauren from customer service or customer experience in Canada. Mr. Covey, the legend, Jeff Covey. We have Merlin from Walla Walla, Washington. Joseph from Clarksboro, New Jersey. Michael from Newport, Rhode Island. We have Nikolai from Varna, Bulgaria. Ono Coffee from Baltimore. We have Santos from KSC, Florida.
Kennedy Space Center?
Kennedy Space Center? Santa? No, Santos. Santos from Kennedy Space Center, Florida. If anybody has ever been, if you haven't been there, you have to go. That is a wicked cool place. Johnny from Hoffman Estates, Illinois. Leo from Big Island, Hawaii. Captain Kirk from Marietta, Georgia. Norman from Fallbrook, California. David, it's her! It's Gwen from West Virginia. Jim B. from Greenbrier, California. Dale from Swaddling-Cote, England. Eric from Alabama. Greg from something. Is that North Minnesota?
North Minnesota.
North Minnesota. We have the Super Beetle from Ohio. Or is that name Super from Beetle, Ohio?
Super Beetle from Columbus, Ohio.
Super Beetle from Columbia, Ohio.
I run out of time. I can't.
That would be Columbus, Ohio. We have Steve from Nashville, Tennessee. Dan, my main man, Dan from Arizona. We have Bilbo Baggins from Denmark, or just Bilbo. And Minnie, you're still writing?
Did you read off Manhattan?
Huh?
No.
Manhattan?
Manhabba.
Where's Manhabba?
It's a guy or a person from the cross.
From where?
No, he has that.
Where?
He's from across Florida.
Making sure she's not repeating.
Oh, you're writing it now. Come on over, you can keep writing. Wow, we have Manhava from La Crosse, Florida. Now I get what you were saying.
Let me out of here.
God, come here, Minnie. Thank you. Okay, we have Craig and Tyler from Verts, Virginia.
Yes.
We have Peter from Australia.
Yes.
Can you read the next one?
Nicholas from Belgium.
She's pretty good at this. She can read her own writing. We have Charlie and Dean from Leeds, Yorkshire, England. We have Rum. That's a cool name. From Kingsport, Indiana. Hi, Rum. We have Tyler from Carmel, Indiana. Hi, Tyler. We have James from North Carolina. Dana from Washington. David from Israel. Francis from QC is Quebec City.
Yes.
Hey, I'm getting pretty good at this. We have Woodknob from Spain. Minnie.
Yes.
Is that how you spell Spain?
It is today.
Okay, hey, I gotta ask you all something. If you see a whiteboard out there that has spell check, Minnie needs it. Look how she spells Spain. Oh my God. The rain falls mainly on the plain in Spain, Minnie. We have Chris from Australia. Are you okay? We have Mark from Massachusetts, Michelle from France, Oliver, how you doing, Ollie, from Southern California, Anders from Denmark, Joseph from New Jersey, and we have Manhava from La Crosse, Florida. Did I say Charlie and Dean from Leeds, Yorkshire? I think so. Okay. Wow. Okay, let's do this. We need a calculator for all of you. Okay, we need a spell check whiteboard for Min. And what else? And a pronunciation key for Min.
Yes.
Wow, I thought I was a needy guy. Okay, everybody. You made me feel great, Minnie. Thank you for being here. You're awesome.
I love being here.
Did you guys know it's Minnie's birthday today? It's not? Okay, happy birthday to you. Okay, I am really losing it. Okay, hey everybody, if you have stayed to the end, I hope you have. We just want to say, because we have so much fun doing this, we hope you're having fun. Maybe someday we'll put out a bloopers reel. Because that's usually our dry runs, and we have a lot of fun doing dry runs before we go live. So, hey, everybody have a great weekend. Be safe. Eat lots of wings and pizza. And be very careful out there during Super Bowl. That's Sunday, right? At like 6:34 or whatever it is.
What was the final tally, Chiefs, Eagles?
Yeah, do we have a final tally? Eagles? Okay, so Eagles, go Chiefs. Now you know who I'm going for.
Go Eagles!
Chiefs. Okay, everybody have a safe weekend. And what do I always say? We love you. Okay, so be safe. We'll see you here real soon. Thank you.